Kaden, welcome to the Brain
What's
Show.
up, man? What's up, y'all? Happy to be here.
Awesome. Can you
Yes,
please
sir.
introduce yourself?
My name is Kaden. Kaden Khadaran. I am a senior here at UF. My time here is wrapping up. I just have to take a couple of courses during the summer, bro. And once that's done, I'll be walking across that stage and entering the real world.
Oh,
So,
that's great, man.
yeah,
That's
man.
great. You're
Yeah,
so
man.
close. It's right
Yes,
there.
sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So how's your time at UF been?
My time at UF has been it's been a huge growth period for me, bro. Like I remember I was living back in Bradenton. I got my associates at a community college, as you know. I went to SCF. And when I was there, I was kind of lazy, didn't really have too much ambition and stuff that young men should have. So I knew that the best move for me next would be to move out here and get some independency away from home, living away from my parents and stuff, managing my own money. And yeah, bro, it's just been a crazy growth period. I've grown a lot as far as how I think, how I prioritize my time, the things that I find important. And yeah, man, now that I'm detached from Bradenton and I don't live at home anymore, the goal is to not have to move back because I don't want to move back and get comfortable, get caught up in any hamster wheels. So, I'm just staying by myself for right now.
That's right. That's right.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
It's good to just be standing on your own feet, like just standing your ground. 'Cause
Yeah.
I feel like it kind of gives you a lot of strength and confidence as a man because you're like, I got this on lockdown.
Exactly, and speaking of that, I have some friends that still live back home who are my age, but they just never decided to leave. And every time I visit and I go see them, like you could just see that sense of comfort that they have of like, yeah, I'm probably never gonna leave and stuff like that. And I'm like, bro, there's so much world out here. You got to get out there, bro. So, and the first step is moving out of your mom's and dad's place. So,
Absolutely. That's a big step in a person's life.
yeah, man, for sure.
And, some people never take it.
I know,
That's
I
a
know.
real
I was
thing.
happy I was able to make that step, bro.
Yeah, man.
Yes,
So
sir.
let me ask you this. What was that transition like when you finally got to campus and you're starting college, you're making money, like you're becoming independent? Like what was that journey like?
That journey was, well, luckily I have an older sister that graduated 2 years prior to me. And I remember before I started living out here when I was still back in Bradenton, she would hit me up on a random weekend like, hey, do you work this weekend? I'm like, no. She's like, okay, I'm going to come down and get you and bring you up here and you're going to spend a weekend with me. So, since you're planning on living out here, let me introduce you to some of my friends. And like, so then by the time you come out here, you don't feel like a lone wolf. You just got some people to fall back on. So I was like, okay, cool. And I would come out here and I would visit. I would go to her church that we have, Salt Company. And yeah, bro, I met a lot of people. And then when I finally did make the move, I remember on the day I was moving my stuff, it was kind of hitting me like, dang, bro, I'm about to leave my cat, my parents, all my friends that I grew up with here. Like it's just crazy. But yeah, I didn't have a lot of stuff to move with me. I'm kind of like I try to stay minimalistic as far as stuff. So the move was pretty easy. And then I got here, signed my first lease. I was living in a house with one of my dearest friends, Alan, who works at a church plant in Sarasota now. And I was living with Alan, Dash, Sam, and Jorge. And yeah, bro, I started living there. I had to get used to things like not being able to get like too much sleep because you got things that you have to do for school and you got different events you have to go to and stuff like that. But once I got through that, bro, like I just really just appreciated the fact that I was able to be on my own and be independent and gave me a boost of confidence in a sense. And yeah, bro, I just started trying to tackle everything that was in front of me. So yeah, bro, the move out here was great. And like I said, I don't plan on going back. So
That's
yeah,
great, man. That's
yeah.
great. It sounds like it really was the right decision for you to make.
For sure, for sure. Definitely in that season of life I was in, I had to break out of that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, sir.
How'd you like living with all those guys?
Living with them, it was a roller coaster ride. Because Alan is like he's the lively, vibrant dude. He's the life of the party, as some would say. And so because of that, we have a lot of friends that we go to church with. And he was always the guy after we have an event at church. He would always be the guy like, "Hey, come to my house for like after late night hangout."
Oh yeah.
And during the time I had a barn door, so my door didn't close all the way. There was openings in my door and it was sliding. So in the living room was right there, which is where everyone would tend to congregate. And sometimes I would want to go to sleep a little bit earlier than everybody else. It'll be like 12. I'll be trying to go to sleep, and they're out there playing code names, laughing at like silly YouTube videos, watching the dumbest memes and stuff. And at first it used to piss me off because I'm like, I really cherish my sleep. I'm like, bro, I'm trying to sleep, but after a while, like I started to appreciate the fact, like, hey, maybe you should go out there and build some memories. Like, you know, some of the stuff out there that they're laughing about, they'll never forget this stuff in their life. They're building some good memories out there. Maybe you should go join them. So then I stopped looking at it from the point of view of, hey, they're trying to keep me up, they're being loud, and I started looking at it like, hey, this is an opportunity for me to, you know, go out, make more friends, and talk to people and build memories. So, because you know, you make a lot of memories in college, bro.
Oh yeah,
Yes, sir.
absolutely.
Yes,
You know,
sir.
that that reminds me of a similar thought process I've had lately. Like I've had various problems and you know, now I'm trying to change my mentality to be like this is a challenge that I can overcome. Like this is like it doesn't have to be an issue. Like I can use it as like a stepping stone to create a more comfortable environment, you know.
Exactly, bro.
Um,
Yeah, because it's all about perspective. Like I said, I was looking at it one way, and then I started looking at it from like instead of looking at it that way, I started looking at it from the perspective of, hey, you know what? This is an opportunity. Like I try to start seeing things as an opportunity. Like when I have a negative outview on something, I'm like, you know what? What positives can I extract from this
oh yeah.
that can help me? And then you know, I seek those positives, find them, and then I try to start applying them and thinking a little different, and it helps out the whole situation.
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir.
And when you're on the come up, it's like I feel like that's what you got to do, you know, especially if you're starting from ground zero. It's like you got nowhere to go but up, so you got to make sure you're looking up, you know.
Exactly. And a lot of people, like, you know, when we're on our basis and we're just now graduating and we might not have that certain career locked down yet, or we just might not know what path we're going to take, that can discourage a lot of people.
Yeah.
But, bro, I've heard some stories about some, like, say there's a millionaire and he's 35. He didn't start, you know, waking up and coming to his senses until he was 30. Like, yeah, I was 30 when I made my first investment. I'm like, dang, you 35, you got all this money? So it can happen in the nick of time. It's just all about time management, you know, putting yourself in the right position, in the right places, in the right rooms, and yeah, just being able to just put yourself out there and being vocal.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
And to kind of add to what you're saying, it might come down to one opportunity, but it might take you 10 years of hard work to get to that opportunity.
Sure.
You know, like
Sure.
I've been fortunate enough to get some good chances, and man, I had to work so hard to get those though. You know, like the things that made me stand out and the things that made me eligible for these things. It's like those felt like those were gonna last forever, but then you know, eventually, it's like you get through it, and then you have that as part of your journey, and then you know, people really respect that.
Exactly. I ain't gonna lie though. I give you your props on your own podcast. I give you some credit. Ever since I met you, bro, and ever since you came to the job, everybody always notices. I'm like, you know what, bro? Nick really sticks it out, and like he comes to work to work. Like when you at work, you don't be playing no games. Like you know, you always try to do the right thing, make sure everybody's pleased. You know, you don't mind going the extra mile. You don't mind staying, you know, a little bit after. And me, in some of those areas that I'm saying you're strong in, I'm very weak in those. So it's a little bit easier for me to you know, kind of respect and tip my hat to that. Cause I'm like, dang, bro, you said you stayed till 2 a.m. last night because the overnight guy was answering his phone. I'm like, that's insane, bro. But yeah, man.
Well, thank you, Kaden.
Yeah,
I really appreciate that,
bro.
man.
Yes,
And
sir.
yeah, that's what it's all about, going at the extra mile, making sure your team's taken care of, making sure your guests are taken care of.
For sure.
Especially since we work in hospitality, you know, making sure the guests are well taken care of and they have a pleasant experience. You know, I find a lot of I find a lot of pride in being able to provide that experience for people.
Yes, sir.
Especially for my time up in Alaska.
Yes,
So
sir.
same thing to you, man. You're a hard worker, man.
Yes, sir.
You know, you got a good attitude.
Yes, sir.
You know, it doesn't seem like you let stuff get you down too much.
Oh,
you
no.
know? Like you're really like positive and upbeat, and that's something I
Yeah.
really respect about you.
Yes, sir, bro. You know, that's how you gotta be, especially in the world we living in 2026, bro. It's like, I don't know, bro. It's so easy to just, you know, be like the Grinch and like, cause you're mad, like maybe you might be mad that you're not in a position of life that you want to be in, especially living in this college town with a bunch of young people who are also striving and have goals and aspirations. You know, you look around and you see so many successful people on campus who are like putting their head down and putting in hard work and getting all these opportunities. And those same opportunities might not be flowing your way.
Yeah.
So it could be easy to like get down on yourself like, dang, I'm not doing what I have to do. But it's like, no, it's just not your time yet. Just keep working hard at what you have.
Yeah. Like my grandma says, everyone gets their turn. You know?
Exactly, bro.
And sometimes, like in the long run, the most successful guy is going to be the guy who right now is just keeping his head down and grinding. You know,
Literally.
it's like just because you're not popular doesn't mean you're not getting your work done. You know,
Exactly.
In fact, you might be lapping those people, but
That's what I'm saying.
nobody notices.
Yeah,
So.
you just don't see it right now, but you'll definitely see it in a couple years if you just stick with it.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what it's
So,
all about, man. Dude,
yes,
I
sir.
can't tell you how many nights where I was just working so hard and I was just like I never tried to think about it too much, but it definitely did affect me where I was like, is this really going to pay off? Is this
Yeah,
really going to like amount to something, you
yeah,
know? But every single time when you stick it through and put that extra mile in every day, it's eventually it pays off,
for sure,
you know?
for sure,
It really will. It probably won't be the way you expect, you know, but if you put in an extra mile every day, over a year, you're going to be 365 miles ahead of
for sure.
everyone
I'm trying
else,
to tell
you
you,
know?
bro. And what was I gonna say? Oh, I was gonna say that that's the importance of um, whatever you are, whatever goals you have, and whatever thing you are striving for. It's good to for it to be a thing that you love and something that you're passionate about. Because I know this saying, it was like, if you do something you love, you never work a day in your life. Because when you're doing something you love, it don't feel like work. Like me personally, I like to make music and I like to sing and stuff like that. And I try to just expand those talents in any way I can. And a lot of the work is done behind the scenes. I haven't taken a big step of like actually trying to release any music or anything like that. But my files are flooded with just music. And sometimes when I'm making music, I might like the way it sounds and stuff like that. But I'm like, you know what, Caden, like, you're still not that guy yet. You still don't have that recognition yet. You're still not like you don't have a hit song yet. And it can get kind of discouraging. Like, am I doing this for no reason? Like, is this junk really gonna work? But everybody has those stories. Even the most successful people have those stories where there was a time where they felt like what they were doing wasn't gonna pay off. So, yeah,
Yeah.
man,
Well, if it's something you enjoy doing, then it's worth doing, you know?
definitely.
You don't always need a return on investment, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it just makes you feel better, and that's okay. That's enough,
Exactly.
you know?
Exactly.
Uh, so how do you like to record your music?
I record my music, bro. Well, as for right now, we living off of college people funds.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember when I was in high school, I met this guy named Ridley, and Ridley is a rapper. And he showed me. I was like, bro, I actually have always been interested in making music. How do you make music? Like, do you go to a studio? Like, and sometimes he would. But most of the time, and most of the songs he made, there's an app on the phone called BandLab. And when he told me at first that he made music on his phone, I was like, dude, on the phone is gonna sound so like you're gonna be able to tell that it was made on a phone. But he was like, nah, bro, let me just show you. So he showed me, and he started. He used to record the songs for me at first, but I would watch what he was doing on the phone, and I started to pick up some of those things that he was doing. And then now that me and Ridley don't hang out anymore because he still lives in Sarasota, I still remember those things, and I just apply them still to this day when I'm using the app. And you'll be shocked, bro. If you know how to use the app and you know what you're doing, bro, like it'll actually sound like you might have even been in a studio. So yeah, man, I'm just grateful. You got to have a good pair of headphones.
Oh yeah,
That's one of the requirements to make a good song on BandLab. But yeah, bro, that's where I record my music on.
that's sweet. Are you into rap?
I am into rap. Me personally, a lot of my music tends to not be in the rap genre because I'm more of an R&B guy.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as what I listen to on a day to day, rap is definitely a prominent genre, and that goes into my ear gates for
Oh, yeah.
sure.
I get that, man. Like, even up in Massachusetts, I've been a big fan of rap like my whole life, basically. Like old school Eminem.
Mhm.
A few songs by like Drake. I
Yeah.
like Big Sean. He's pretty good. And
Mhm.
you got like Biggie, Tupac. Like, I don't know. There's something about rap. It tells like a real like story, and when they really nail like the articulation and like just the poetry behind it, like it really is like it's something beautiful.
Yeah, for sure. But don't get me wrong though, there are those couple of rap songs that you'll listen to and be like, dang, this is really like vulgar. Like, what the heck? But that's not the type of rap I listen to. I tend to listen to the rap like you were just saying, the raps that have like a meaning and that has a lot of substance behind it, and that really influences me to like keep making music.
Yeah. So who are some of your favorite artists?
Some of my favorite artists, well, I'm probably gonna get a lot of flack for this, but Chris Brown is definitely a big one. I know he had the situation with Rihanna and other situations, but like he's one of those guys that like when you watch him, like you can't deny his talent. Like he's undeniably talented.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, can sing, dance, rap, all of that. I'm also, when Lil Wayne was having his run, I was definitely into Wayne some.
Yeah, he changed the game.
For sure, he has a big influence on why rap is the way it is today. Even though it's not as good as it was back then, but he influenced a lot of people. I even listen to some girl artists sometimes. Like, are you familiar with SZA?
SZA, yeah, I've heard of
Yeah,
SZA.
SZA. I'll pop in some if I'm feeling really upbeat and like in that mood. I'll listen to some Ariana Grande sometimes, bro. Literally, people be surprised when I tell them that. But I'm one of those people who I like to listen to everything. You know what I'm saying? I don't have like that. I don't wake up and listen to one genre all day every day. Like,
Yeah,
nah, it gets boring after a
yeah.
while.
I feel like there's kind of like a song for every occasion too.
For sure.
Uh, the same thing, dude. I got like over 1,500 like songs on Spotify. I got like over 40 playlists. Like I like a big diversity, you
Yeah,
know,
for sure, bro.
because I feel like this is part of the fun of life is just like exploring these different avenues of art. Because sometimes people are like, oh, I only like, Chris Brown, or I only like Luke Combs or whoever,
NBA young boy.
Yeah, young boy, yeah. But it's like they don't really like diverge. It's like you never know. You could find something that you really like a lot more. You just got to go kind of explore a little bit, see what's
Yeah.
out there.
And I think the importance in that and listening to different music, it actually ends up helping me in the long run because like obviously, like I just said, I want a music career in the future and a lot of people who are one-dimensional people, they don't last long. They eventually have their time and they kind of wither away in a couple years because they can only do one thing.
Yeah,
But me listening to different spectrums and genres of music, it kind of helps me diversify my own artistry in a little bit. I mean, in a way, like I'll hear a certain beat and I'm like, you know what? If I was always listening to rap or always listening to this type of music, I wouldn't be able to sing a song over this. But because I'm so well-rounded musically, like I can definitely execute something on this. It could be like a country beat, and I can hop on it. So, yeah, man, it's good to be diverse, especially when it comes to music.
oh yeah, and you really appreciate it once you learn more about music theory. Like I was in band for 4 years. Like I played the trumpet,
Okay.
and so it is cool once you get to learn how to read music. It's really like a whole new language.
Yeah, for sure.
So let me ask you this. So you said you're about to graduate, and then you're pretty free after that. Like, what would your ideal situation look like? Like, what would be like a dream job for you?
A dream job for me. We just talked about the music. Like I said, the my main dream job is to definitely make music of some sort and be able to make a stable income off of it. Even that's kind of a challenge. But aside from that, bro, in the meantime, in between time, I've been kind of interested in maybe going in for a trade because I know trades they're always high, like the people that are needed for trades they're always going to be high in demand.
Oh yeah.
They definitely always make a decent salary
Oh yeah.
because they help the world go around for
I mean,
sure.
it's getting to the point where the people in trades are making more than the people who, got these fancy degrees.
I'm trying to tell you, bro, I have a cousin, his name Pierre, and Pierre, I don't even know if he did graduate high school. If you did, I'm sorry cuz I just forgot. But yeah, man, he went in to be an electrician, and yeah, he's still making some good money today.
Oh yeah.
You got to work like 5 days a week. Obviously a set schedule, but yeah, man, you make some. You go to work and you execute that work, and you show up to work. You gonna make that money. So
Oh yeah. Especially if you can get like a mentor or some sort of apprenticeship. I mean, you can learn like very, very quickly.
for sure. So I've been like looking into certain stuff like HVAC, electrician, plumber, stuff like that. Actually, my girlfriend has a friend, and her boyfriend is a plumber, and he also makes decent money. So yeah, but that hopefully that could be something that's temporary for me. But like I said, us being men, we got to make ends meet. So you got to do what you got to do, bro.
Oh yeah. It's always good to know too, because then if something like that happens in your life, then you're like, oh, I don't have to pay someone. I can do it
I
myself.
could do it myself. Exactly.
I feel like that's a good avenue for opening your own business too, because it's like if you're the best electrician on the block, it's like why not just make your own business?
Exactly, bro. Yes, sir. Totally agreed.
In fact, just something that's on the top of my mind. I'm gonna be going to this water resources conference next week,
Okay.
and I signed up to be a volunteer, so I'm gonna help hand out badges and stuff. And I received this email, and it was like, "Hey, we have this first time event. You can go and meet a mentor. Learn about the wastewater industry." I was like, "All right, sure. I bet. I don't know if I'll get in because I'm sure it's a high demand. But I just threw in an application, like didn't take it too seriously, and then sure enough, like within a day, they emailed me back. They're like, "Hey, you got approved. You're gonna be meeting a mentor." So that's an opportunity for me to actually meet a mentor one on one,
Exactly.
like face to face, like in that environment, and actually establish that connection there. And
Yeah.
that was really encouraging. I'm really glad that got to work out.
No, for sure. And Matter of fact, to ask you a question, if I'm not mistaken, you told me before one day when we were working, you've had a few mentors in your life, right?
Uh, that's kind of an interesting question. Like in what regard?
I think one time you were telling me about like you were, I don't know if it was a mentorship, but you were saying that there was these three people that were like, I don't think I have my story mixed up either. They were like helping you in a certain sense. I can't remember exactly what it was. Maybe it might have had something to do with like business or like,
The investment club?
yeah,
Or,
yeah. Like, did
yeah.
you have a mentor in that or something,
Um,
or a guy who was like above you?
Honestly, Kaden, like it was mostly just me, man. I
Oh,
mean,
really?
yeah, there was no one really telling me to do that sort of
Okay,
thing.
okay,
Like when we first started, it was just me and my buddy, and he was really good at the technical like day trading type stuff,
okay,
like what Braxton does. You
okay,
know, he was good at that sort of thing. But no, I didn't have a mentor then. I mean, the only person that really comes to mind as a mentor is the instructor for my Taekwondo class when I was
okay.
younger. He was like a fifth degree black belt. Uh, I looked up to him a lot at the time, but like, as I've been growing up, like there's just been so many transitions because it's just constantly like this 4 month period of time where I have all these classes, and then I go into another 4 month period where I have a completely new situation.
Okay,
Um, and I just grew up with my mom. My dad wasn't there.
I feel you.
Yeah, so I kind of had to just like be my own mentor,
Yeah,
like eventually along the way I found out that like nobody's gonna help me, nobody's gonna save me, um, no one's coming to wipe your tears away. It's like you got to figure it out yourself, like.
yeah,
And I feel like the sooner a man can come to that conclusion, like the stronger they'll be.
yeah.
uh,
No, for sure. I remember my dad. He used to always tell me when I was younger. He's like, man, one thing you gonna learn about being a man, like when you grow up, don't nobody care. Like that's basically how he used to put it. He used to be like, man, ain't nobody gonna care about your feelings. Nobody cares about like, what you're going through because everybody's going through something. You know
mhm.
what I'm saying? But you just gonna have to wake up every day, put on your hard hat and do what you gotta do. And that was the harsh reality of adulting and becoming a man is like there were some days where it would get like real lonely and I'm like, dang bro, like I don't got nobody to turn to. I can call my mom and talk to her, but the most I can do is talk to her. She can't really in action help me change the situation. So yeah, there's definitely sometimes where you gotta like, I don't know, man, like it definitely gets really really tough
it
sometimes.
it does, and that
Yeah,
that might sound like a cold conclusion, but it's like that's just kind of how it is.
yeah,
um I feel like there's like a certain strength that comes with that too, because then you have the confidence of the independence of not having to rely too much on anyone or anything.
hmm,
um and yeah, I just think it's an important thing for young men to do. That's another reason it's so important to move away, like we
hmm,
were talking about,
yeah,
because like you said, then you become more driven to become independent and make a name for yourself and actually earn your keep in this world.
exactly.
Because nobody's gonna hand it to you.
Exactly, man. And closed mouths definitely don't get fed. So that's why every time an opportunity comes my way, like for instance, when you asked me, like, hey, would you like to be on my podcast? I was like, yeah, bro, I see this as an opportunity. I'm like, bro, this is an opportunity for me to, pick your brain a little bit, get some good information. Also, like, see how you do what you do. Because also, this is something that has piqued my interest too. So I never know what moves I can make with this in the future. But no, like, I just saw this as an opportunity and other opportunities that come my way. I always try to make sure I speak up because closed mouths don't get fed. People are out here willing to help you.
Oh
You
yeah.
just have to be humble enough to be like, hey man, like I need help. Would you be willing to help me?
Oh
And you'll
yeah.
be surprised how many yeses you'll get.
Oh yeah. If you just ask, man, like if you're really coming from a place of like curiosity, of interest, and like just good intent, then like people will just hand you so,
I
well,
know.
not hand it to you, but
Yeah.
they'll help you out.
Yeah.
Like they really will.
Yeah,
Uh,
bro.
Especially people who like don't have that opportunity very often.
For
Like if they
sure.
really finally get a chance to share their knowledge, like you'd be surprised. Like they will.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know.
and that's one of those places. That's one of those situations where you can't let pride step in the way because some people can so easily feel like they're butt kissing.
Mm.
And I'm like, bro, you're not butt kissing. You're in a situation. You even know yourself that you need help. Like, why not go seek out help when there's people around here that are willing to help you?
Exactly. Like
Yeah,
yeah, the thing I had to realize was like that's an indication of strength, not weakness.
exactly.
It's like I'm not weak because I'm asking for help. It's like it's a it's almost like a mark of courage to say like I don't have the answer to this. Like, can you please help me find this answer?
Exactly,
You know.
bro. So
And yeah, here, you gotta take that. Or,
I don't have to take
okay.
this.
But yeah, man, it's important. So how about you? Did you have any mentors? Anyone who really inspired you?
Well, um, I've always had a good support system around me, but I'm also well, no, I was about to tell a lie. I was about to say I didn't really have any mentors either, but I definitely had a couple of mentors. Obviously my dad was a big one. Just watching him get up, go to work every single day. I've been alive for 22 years, and I can probably count on one hand the amount of times my dad has called out of work. So he's been working there for 30 plus years. He does like lawn service, and so he was really great. You know, there'll be times where he'll go run it. I'll go run some errands with him, and it'll be one of those situations where no girls are around, my sister or my mom isn't around, and we'll just be driving and having guy talk, and he'll just be telling me stuff about stuff that he wished he would have knew when he was young and stuff like that. And I've always really held on to those and honed on those and kept them in my mind mentally. So when I get inside certain situations, there's even times I'll hear my dad's voice in the back of my head, like, remember what I told you. So he was a big one. Also my pastor back home, Pastor McDonald, in the church I've been going to since I was really, really little. He's just a real man of God, always involved in the community. He's well known around Bradenton. Sometimes when I hang out with him, everywhere we go, like we can go in the most randomest places. People are like, oh, hey, Bishop McDonald, hey, Bishop McDonald. But that's just because of the impact that he has as a man. You know, people respect him. So, and he also gives me a lot of godly advice, more spiritual advice and stuff like that. So he's also a really good man. I've had a great big sister. I was blessed with a great big sister. I followed in her footsteps to get me here and stuff like that. So she's somebody that I kind of follow after. She's a go-getter naturally. So yeah, bro, I've had a couple of mentors and obviously different coaches and stuff. I played basketball. I'm not going to name all of them, but yeah, man, definitely had a couple of mentors during my life.
Interesting. Is there one, like from any of them, is there one like really important lesson that kind of stuck out to you that you kind of remind yourself of?
If I could sum all of it up into a lesson, it would definitely be probably don't waste time. Like a lot of like, you know, we call them OGs, but of the older guys that I talk to and stuff like that, the OGs I speak to, they tell me a lot of them emphasize on having good time management and like not wasting your youth and stuff like that. Because obviously, you know, when you're like young and, you know, you're in shape, you're good looking and stuff like that, it only lasts for a certain amount of time. And in that certain amount of time, you should be putting your head down and working hard trying to build a foundation. But a lot of people see it this amount of time as like the time where you go talk to girls, you know, you go get drunk, you go do this, you go do that, you go to this function, you go to this party. And then next, you know, like my dad, he used to say, you don't want to wake up one day and you 40 years old and don't got nothing to show for it. And that's so many people's reality today, and they live a bitter life because of it. But it's like, if you would have just managed your time a little bit better, you know what I'm saying, then you wouldn't have this regret. You know, you would have been doing whatever you wanted.
Exactly.
So,
like that work hard, play hard, that plays out in the long run too.
yeah, bro.
You know, like, man, even around here, we're seeing it firsthand. You
Trying
know,
to tell you, bro.
it's like people think that lasts forever. You know, it's like that ain't gonna last forever,
Bro.
You know, it's like when the dust settles and the chips fall, it's like, what do you have to show for your time? You know,
Yeah.
like, do you want like a bunch of shallow relationships that just ended, or do you want to have something meaningful and something that you can be proud of to like look back on?
Exactly, bro. So I don't know, man. I just always try to try my best to have time management, even though I struggle with time management. Like I said, I honed on to every single word that they said and I always think about it. But sometimes it is hard to manage my time because you're always gonna have those seasons and moments where you want to do what you want to do because you felt like you've been working so much you haven't been able to do what you want to do. But even in those times, you still gotta bite the bullet, sacrifice. Like, I know I just was at work. I know I've been doing all of this stuff, but let me do even more. You know, let me go even further. You know, before I, you know, kick back and do my own thing. So
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I feel like each of those little victories, it's like those are the ones that lead to the big ones.
yeah, I remember you said that at work one time, and I was like, I never looked at it that way, but you were like emphasizing on little victories, because like obviously a bunch of little victories is gonna eventually amount and add up to a big victory, which is probably like where you've always wanted to be in life. So
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a real big point of this book called Atomic Habits. they talked about just like these small decisions, you know, and there was this graph, and it's like every decision you can either go up or you can go down, right? And if it's like, you know, some people just go up and down and up and down and up and down, and they just stay along the same line. But then other people go up and then up and then up and up. And like if a big win is up here, it's like all those little decisions make the
Gonna
trend
lead
line
you
that
to
gets
that.
you there, you
Yeah,
know?
for sure, bro.
And so those small victories, like those silent ones where nobody's looking and you're like, man, I've been working 8 hours and I still got to get this report done. It's like those are the ones that really kind of build character and like build your resilience and build your capacity to perform work, you know?
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, like doing all of this stuff is definitely gonna like there's gonna be times where you're super tired, you definitely ain't gonna feel like it and stuff like that. But
That's when you got to do it.
I was about to say, when you feeling like that, you have to think like what's more important, how I'm feeling right now, or like, you know, where I wanna be. Like, you know, let me just do what I need to do to get where I want to be, regardless of me being tired or regardless of if I don't want to do it or not. So
Exactly. Yeah, man.
yeah.
Even in this position, like in the master's degree, you know, it's like you really have two paths. You either get like a PhD or a job, you know, and it's like after you do all your schoolwork, it's like you still got to go out and find a job, and it's like, whew, like that was hard, you know, but after you knock on enough doors, one of them is going to open.
For sure, for sure.
You know, it's like it's important for people to hear, like especially our demographic, because I think I teach or not. Well, I have taught a lot of students, but I think a large part of my demographic is students. So I try
Okay.
to really emphasize these lessons because it's important for them to hear.
Okay, speaking of young people though, that's another thing, and another like career or path I've always thought about is like working with children, because I've always noticed that like I have a decent influence on guys who are younger than me. I don't know, they just always tend to like look up to me for some reason. So like I don't know, I just feel like in the future, and I also really like basketball. So obviously a lot of young guys like to play basketball. So that could be something that can kind of be intertwined. And you know, like I could probably like have a thing where like I don't know, make some type of basketball program, help them become better athletes, but also in the same breath helping them become better men too. So
Oh yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, because if people really do look to you for guidance, it's like you can. And if you really like basketball, it's like go for it.
Yeah,
You know?
bro, that'll be the thing that draws the young men in, and then once they get there, they can understand what we're really here for. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's kind of like boxing too. You know, it's like you show up and you want to learn how to swing. You know, but there's a lot more that goes into it.
a whole bunch more that goes into it. You gotta learn the fundamentals first.
Yeah,
Sure,
and
man.
and you said you've had some experience with boxing, right?
Not really. I've never had any experience with boxing, but I can say as I've gotten older, the art and the sport of boxing and like the the competitiveness of boxing is starting to intrigue me more. Like I remember when I used to try to watch it when I was younger, it was so dumb to me because I'm like, it's just these two guys fighting, but like I never really understood like like the certain times they take jabs or the certain things that they do, like the bobbing and weaving techniques. Like it kind of correlates with me more, and my brain gets it more. So that's why I've been kind of more into boxing, like watching it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And it's good to know too. I feel like you stand a little taller when you know how to, when you know martial arts.
Exactly.
And by the way, man, I'm still a instructor at UFKB. So if you ever want to learn something,
I do gotta slide through there one day,
Yeah.
bro, because it's like you just said, bro. It's great to know how to defend yourself, like, but know how to defend yourself, and people can use that loosely. But like I'm talking about really knowing how to defend yourself, like knowing certain techniques, like and being able to anticipate certain things because you've been working on it
oh yeah,
and certain things, and like
how to counter.
yeah, counters are really important. So yeah, bro, like I don't know. As I've gotten older, I can appreciate the art and the sport of fighting a little bit more.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I love it, man. I've been a practitioner of martial arts like as long as I can remember.
Yeah.
One of my first memories are from doing Taekwondo,
Okay.
actually. So yeah, it's just a really important part of my life. I think it builds a lot of discipline, especially in young people. I think it builds like a lot of resilience. I think it builds capacity for like hard work. And it really humbles you. I mean, if you can take a hit, that kind of makes you realize like, oh, I'm not invincible. you know?
Yeah. I remember Mike Tyson was like, everyone has a plan, or like he said something like, everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth.
That's a fact.
And I'm like, that's so true. You can have all the plans in the world, but once you get that first, like, wait, hold on.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah,
Seriously, man.
definitely.
Yeah. And in fact, I have these like metal posters in my room. And one of them is the quote from Rocky where it's you, me, or nobody's gonna hit as hard as life, but it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, bro. Because if you can dish it, but you can't take it, like, you know, you still pretty weak. So, like, being able to dish it and take whatever comes at you, it's like, dang, bro, this guy's a problem.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, even in different arenas, not even just in the boxing ring, but out in like business, out in classes, it's like, you know, um, like you could get like a 15 on an exam and then still finish the class with a B. I mean,
Yeah.
that happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like it's because I just kept getting up and kept swinging. You know?
Exactly, bro. You keep swinging at the point where most people would give up.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
Exactly. You know, and if it's a game of last man standing, it's like, well, that's how you win.
Exactly.
You know,
For
And
sure.
I feel like a lot of games in life are kind of like that. It's less a matter of like skill or intelligence, and it's more a matter of like perseverance and who can actually see it through.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's at least been the case that I've seen.
Yeah, I remember when I was playing football my junior year, we would always have this week, and it was a week where we would have these specific workouts. It was like a planned thing. And the purpose of it was to like pick out the boy. It was like to pick out the boys from the men. Like the workout was like the workouts throughout the entire week. It was so vigorous and so like mentally draining and stuff like that. And you had to have a certain mental capacity to persevere through it that a lot of people give up. And the coach is like, well, you know, I only want the strongest of the strong. You know, I want some dogs on my team. So this is how I'm going to figure out who are the dogs. Like, we're going to have this week of working out. You got to be here at a certain time in the morning. We're going to hit the sand pit. You know what I'm saying? We're going to do all this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Ladder drills and junk. Your legs are going to be burning. But, you know, whoever sticks around for it, you know what I'm saying? That's how you know who's really cut for this season. So,
Oh yeah, and those are the guys who get the most benefit. You know,
Exactly.
Man, you reminded me of my senior year of wrestling. So on wrestling teams, it's really common for students to drop off or get caught vaping or
Yeah.
fail out or whatever, or quit. So my final year of wrestling, we had 14 guys on day one and we had 14 guys on the last day. You know, and there was only 14 weight classes, so it was
Yeah.
one for every weight class. And yeah, man, I just remember one day, it was really early in the season, and dude, I hated wrestling. It was so hard. It was, to this day, it's one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. Like, it was no
I
joke.
can imagine.
Especially just in that time of my life. So I remember texting Ben, who was on the team. I was like, man, I don't know if I can get through this. Like, I really don't know if I can, like, pull through on this one. And he was like, Nick, if you quit, then I'll quit. And I was just like, that's not happening.
That's not happening. So
not
now I
happening.
have to keep going.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I just broke it down. I broke it down. I was like, can I do one more day? Can I do one more drill? Can I do one more sprint? It's like, don't worry about 3 months from now. It's like, focus on the next day, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And that's kind of how I got through it.
That's really big what you just said. Like, being able to see certain things and try to reach certain goals in increments. I think where a lot of people fail at is they just see it as one big goal. Like, okay,
I'm going to be a millionaire.
yeah, like they see it all in one. And then like, because it's all in one, it gets kind of intimidating, it gets discouraging, and then they don't even end up trying to chase it. But it's like, if you just do one day at a time, you set little goals each day. It's like, you know what, like this way I can be able to put it in increments and like have a build up off of it. Because like, I don't know, there's definitely been a couple times in my life where I looked at a situation and I looked at like the journey as a whole instead of just looking at it like, no, every day when I wake up, just a little bit more, just a little bit more, just a little bit more, being a little bit better than I was the day before.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah. And yeah, that's huge. I do the same thing. Sometimes I get so caught up in the grand vision that like I neglect the steps, and it's like, well, you're not developing the vision because you're not taking the steps. 'cause
Exactly.
You're so caught up in
yeah.
the vision.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So I have a similar problem that I face sometimes. And like you said, man, it's just all about those steps. It's all about those like incremental victories. One thing that I read from Jordan Peterson was, you know, he has this book, 12 Rules for Life, and he's very influential, and he's a very good psychologist. And the name of the chapter was Compare Yourself to Who You Were Yesterday, not just who someone else is today.
Exactly.
You know? Because
Exactly.
all these people, they try to make these comparisons. It's like, oh, well, he's got this more money, or you know, he has these things and I don't have them. And it's just an unfair comparison, right? Because you don't know their circumstances. You might be a lot more rich in some areas of your life than them in other areas, you know? it's like, what's the point of having all that stuff if you're miserable all the time?
Exactly, bro.
And if you're happier, then it's like, that's arguably the better life.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just to emphasize your point, it's like the only real fair comparison you can make is you against yourself
Yeah.
yesterday,
Yeah.
because you're the same person. So it's like, that's a fair comparison to make.
Exactly. And speaking on comparison, like I wanted to bring up social media because like even though social media is like it can be good, you can keep up with your family and your friends and you can watch, your favorite entertainers and stuff like that. And your favorite content creators is a word that was like developed, a couple years ago with all this social media stuff. But definitely consuming too much social media can be bad because like that thing of comparison could come in. Like there's so many times I'll be scrolling, and I'll see this 22-year-old guy, he's all in shape. He has a Rolls Royce. He has a Porsche, you know what I'm saying? He got a big Cadillac Escalade. He got a nice house. He has some crazy career. And then I get down on myself like, dang, bro, like Kaden, like, what are you doing? But then it's like, you can't do that because it's like, first of all, you don't know where that kid comes from. You don't know, like, he might have had some parents that are rich. And because of that, he was able to, it's a lot of this stuff is hand-me-down, but he's just showing the camera that he has it without telling the story behind it and stuff like that. And then also some people just turn on the camera and live a fake life, and then once the camera turns off, like, their life is nothing like how it was on the camera. It was all for video. So that's why it's kind of bad to, when it comes to social media, to compare yourself and stuff because, it could either be somebody already had the upper hand and had the advantage, so they kind of walked into it.
Yeah, or it's disingenuous.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I'd be having to catch myself sometimes when I'm doing my doom scrolling for the day. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that, man. It's like, for what, man? It's like, that's one thing I can't stand is like fake people, man. Like I don't put up with it.
Yeah.
Like I keep it 100. Like,
Yeah.
what you see is what you get. Like take it or leave it.
Yeah, I'm the ugly truth, bro. I be telling people I'm the ugly truth. Like it might not be always pretty and glitz and glamour and peaches and cream, but you're gonna see my ups, you're gonna see my downs. Like you're gonna see when I'm frustrated. I'm not gonna mask anything. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna obviously like lash out and get too out of character, but you're gonna be able to see every part of me all the time. So
yeah, same thing, man. That's been something I've been contending with this semester. I try not to let it affect me too much, but it was really difficult. So just moving forward, that's one thing I want to work on just for me is just having a better attitude and like just not trying to let these things get to me so much and having that affect how I treat other people.
Yeah.
Because that's not fair to them. Like it's not their problem. It's nothing they did to me. So yeah, that's just something that I've been aware of lately that I really want to focus on improving.
Exactly.
I did what I had to do to get through the degree. Sometimes you just gotta lock in and put your mental health on the bottom of the priority list. But at the end of the day, like there is a lot to be said for like taking care of your mental health. It's like that's one thing I like to advocate for, especially for young men. It's like it's important. You gotta take care of your mind. You gotta do what makes you feel better. Because it's important.
Yeah, definitely, bro. Like, but yeah, like I don't know, bro. Just in life, seeing things from a longevity standpoint is so important. Like you were just saying, like your health, certain financial decisions you decide to make, whoever you decide to make your significant other, like all of these things are gonna play out a certain way. And certain things, like it might be everything that glitters isn't gold. I'm pretty sure you heard that before, but it might look good in the moment. But it's like you should always think to yourself, like, but this looks good right now, while I'm young and stuff. But long term, how will this look in 20 years and 30 years and stuff like that? So and I've always adored my sister for that because my sister, even from when we was kids, she always tries to make decisions. She thinks like 5-10 years ahead. She never thinks in the now because she's like, well, the now is kind of pointless. Like, like it's not pointless, but it's not important as, the road ahead. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Especially when you're kind of in our position where it's like, you got to build your future. You got to build the one you want. And it's like, this is the opportunity to build it, and it's like, you got to keep that in mind. Yeah, absolutely. I feel like it's good to be calculated and to extrapolate things. There's been a few times in my life where I was like real down and I was like in some dark places. And the conclusion I came to was that a big contribution to that mindset was the fact that I didn't like my life like extrapolated.
Mm-hmm.
Like I didn't like the way that my life was headed.
Yeah.
Right. And that caused a lot of like just dark feelings, you know. So I feel like one of the best things that you can do to like keep hope and keep inspiration is to like put yourself in a position where if extrapolated it leads to success.
Exactly, bro. Exactly. Like, I don't know. I try not to put all of my eggs in one basket. Like, and I remember I used to get so sensitive and like so like angry when I would talk to my parents about like me wanting to do music, because obviously they're my parents. They're gonna tell me what's best for me, even if it's something I don't want to hear. I like when I first started making music, I was just solely focused on music. Like, I want to be famous in music. I want people to like my music. I want my music to inspire the world. And I still do want it to be that. But they would always tell me during those conversations, like, I mean, yeah, I'm glad you want to do all that, and I believe you can do it, but like, do you have a plan B? And like that, it would always piss me off because I was thinking that they was asking me, do I have a plan B, because they didn't believe in me. So like they're already trying to move on to something else. Like, but you know that might not work. So what's your plan B? But once I matured and stuff, I realized that they're asking me about a plan B because, like, you know, plan A doesn't always work. Like, even if you're good at plan A, you know, it might still not fall through for you. So it's always, like, good to not put all your eggs in one basket and have things that you can fall back on just in case. Like you were just saying, like, it could reroute you in a different direction. This failure could reroute you to a different direction into success. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
You know, there is something that I would like to add to that. So when I was kind of developing my idea for how my life was going to play out, when I was like freshman, sophomore in college, I realized I really wanted to be like an author and a public speaker. And that's like just really what I wanted to do. Like, I just really wanted to like travel the world and speak to people. And I was like, well, that can pay the bills eventually, but that's probably not going to pay the bills right off the bat, you know? And I was like, I need to develop a way to earn the money to have the freedom to do that, you know, because it, it eventually you can make a good living off of it, but stuff like that where it's more like not a hobby, but like things you're passionate about and really enthusiastic about it, like kind of like this, the podcast, you know, it's like that's not going to put food on the table like day one, you know. So I think rather than thinking about it as like plan A, plan B, I think it's just like two different paths of success.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
It's like what's gonna pay the bills, put food on the table, and then what's something that I can really enjoy doing.
Yeah.
That I can sustainably do.
Yeah.
know? And I think it's good to do both of those things.
Yeah, but for sure, like that's the exact like, you know, attack I'm trying to take on it when it comes to how I was speaking about like trade school earlier. Like, if that is a route that I decide to take, you know, like to put food on the table for myself and be able to sustain myself, during that time while I'm doing it, like things like music and stuff, like you still have to keep at it because, like you said, you always want something that can, you know, bring money to the table now because it's important. Like, you can't be broke. You can't be out here about to lose your house and stuff like that. So it'll be something that I do for now to put money on the table, but always still working at what I'm really passionate about, you know, just in case one day when one of those doors open, you know, I was comfortable all the way throughout because I was always prioritizing what's important, like things like income and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And there is an interesting phenomena that occurs because when you're in these jobs and you're making this money for right now, sometimes you see these people in these situations where you're like, I don't want to end up like that.
Yeah.
You know, and you're just like, I don't want my life to end up like that person's life. So that can kind of like fuel you to do these other things because then you're like I got to do whatever I can to make sure I'm more successful than that person. You
Exactly,
know?
bro.
Like, that's been a huge like driving factor in my life.
Yeah, like I 100% feel you. And another thing that used to always like, you know, kind of catch my attention is like how people are businessmen, like people who know how to make investments and stuff like that, and people who know how to like leverage themselves off of things like taxes and stuff. Like, but obviously that comes with a lot of financial literacy, like a level of financial literacy I don't have yet. So I've always also been inspired like to take that route too, but like there's gonna be times taking that route where like you might have to make a risk. You know, like businessmen are really risky men. Like they'll take some risks, and you're like, bro, are you crazy? And it's like, no, I promise it's gonna work. Like, we're gonna capitalize off of this, and you might not know what they're talking about, and then 2-3 months later, like, you know, they made crazy profit off something, and you like, how did you do that? But it's just because they had the confidence to take the risk.
Oh yeah,
it's just insane. I'm like, bro.
Oh yeah, and sometimes you got to double down on yourself, you know, and sometimes you got to like bet everything you have on yourself, you
Mm-hmm.
know. Kind of like with this degree, I was just like I'm confident in the fact that I can accomplish this goal, and I'm just gonna put all my chips into it.
Yeah.
Uh, in fact, you want to hear something funny?
What's up, Brody?
I only applied to 2 colleges in
Okay.
my entire life, and
Okay.
those were the 2 that I got in.
Okay. What was the one?
Florida Institute of Technology.
Okay. Okay. So them and then this.
Yeah.
Okay.
So those are just 2 big bets that I made, and like you're saying, those instances where you're like, I gotta put, you know, I gotta take a big risk on this, but like you gotta have the confidence going into it to know that's gonna pay off.
Yeah, bro. For sure. For sure. And even if it doesn't pay off, like, bro, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
Like this.
Learned.
Yeah. You know, it's not gonna be your only, you know, opportunity to take a risk or to like bet on yourself. Like, no. Just be a little bit more mindful of how this situation went the next time, you know, a risk that you have to take comes up. Like, you know, it'll just making adjustments in life is really important. Like, I think some people don't do that enough. Like, certain things in life you're kind of meant to fail, so you can make an adjustment for something that's coming up, and then like, you know, you'll know how to navigate that situation a lot better. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, it's kind of like a class where you have like 4 exams, like you figure it out on the first one, and then you can figure it out along the way.
yeah, and then by exam 4, it's like I'm about to ace this thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, bro, for sure.
100%, man. So let me ask you this: how'd you wind up getting the job at SafeParc?
How I wound up getting that job is obviously, you know, Garrett.
Yep.
Me and Garrett went to the same church. Garrett brought in majority of the salt guys that work at SafeParc, as you know. He got like some crazy bonus for it too. I was like, dang, W Garrett. But to be honest, he wasn't the one that told me about it. There was this guy there named, we call him Bam, but his name is Matthew. He only worked there for a short stint though, but during that short stint, before I started working there and while he was working there, we were waiting at Texas Roadhouse to get seats because my friend Alejandro was about to have a birthday party. And I was talking to Bam, and I was like, hey man, you know, I've been trying to look for a job, you know, I really need some income, this, that, and the third. He was like, oh well, you know, I work at this hotel. I don't actually work at the hotel, but I'm a valet driver for this company called SafeParc, and you know, the hotel is really nice. There's a lot of good guests that come through, you know. There's a lot of people, you know, like with some good money in their pockets, and they'll dish you out tips and stuff, and the hourly isn't too bad. And then at that time, I was just trying to get whatever I can get my hands on, bro, because I had been job hunting for a minute. So I was like, bro, are y'all hiring? And he was like, I mean, yeah, as far as I know, like they're always hiring, looking for people. So he sent me the link. He told management, whoever he told about me, Tyler, whatever. And then, yeah, I did it. They ended up contacting me back. I had to take that test that we have to take,
Yep.
you know, when it comes to our policy and stuff like that and certain rules that we have. And then, yeah, man, about 6-7 months later, I'm still there. So, yeah, and it's been good, bro. I love driving people's cars, experiencing how it is to get in a car that's not mine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Little stuff like that.
Yeah, that's fun. We drive all sorts of different types
Oh,
of
my
cars
goodness,
too.
bro. Them big behind Tahoes and junk.
Man, I like
Yeah,
the BMWs.
Yeah.
The Audis.
BMWs do be sweet. It's a smooth ride.
Yeah, then you get in the Genesis or the Land Rovers or those Broncos. Sure, those Raptors too. Oh my god.
Goodness. Them wide body Raptors. Yeah, bro.
Man, then you got like dualies and big vans and huge trucks coming through. You never know what's going to
And
pull
hopefully the big spot is open. Hopefully the big spot is available.
up. Yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Well, what do you like most about working there?
What I like most about it is to be honest, bro, if I'm being honest, what I like most about it is like the dudes we work with. Like just hanging out with y'all on the job, you know what I'm saying? Like we experience so much throughout the day, you know what I'm saying? Like there's sometimes we go in dog fights together. We got like 95 arrivals and this many amount of departures and junk and this many amount of will comebacks, and sometimes we be running for 2-3 hours, but then at the end of the shift, you know, when things start to slow down and stuff, you know, we be at the podium cracking jokes, doing all types of stuff. So just having those experiences and not to like throw shade or anything, but I think the fact that we work with all guys also causes like less drama on the job.
Yeah.
You don't really have anything to worry about. Just come here, do your job, like you know what's expected of you. And then yeah, bro, just making jokes and stuff at the podium, it'd be so funny, bro. Like I don't know, I just really enjoy the experiences we have working together.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we
Yeah.
really got a great team too.
For sure,
Like,
bro.
Yeah, even the management too. Like, in fact, I was on a call with some of the higher ups the other day. And,
Okay.
yeah, just from the top down, like they're all really solid guys.
Yeah,
Like,
man.
You know, they really care about what they do. They care about their people, taking care of each other. Really flexible, really lenient, really understanding, easy to talk to, easy to work with, and
For
like
sure.
that's just like such a relief. And they have a high standard too. It's like they take pride in what they do.
Yeah, they ain't gonna play with you now. Like, do you know what's expected of you? We expect boom, 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 and if you don't do boom, 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 then hey man, we might have to wipe our hands with you, bro. But it's not no hard feelings either. It's just because they want to run it a certain way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
For real, we got to keep the bar high.
Exactly, bro. For sure.
Because that's the kind of team I want to be on.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of team I want to support. It's like I'm an A player.
Yeah.
So I want to be on an A team. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like that's fair. And it really is a solid company. I feel like that's important too. Like, know what kind of company you want to work for, know what kind of people you want to be around, know what kind of culture you want to be a part of, because that's a big deal. It really is. Like, I've worked a lot of jobs, man, and when you have like good, solid people around you, that makes it a lot better.
Yeah, bro. It just what you were just saying made me think about the fact that I always like to go off my dad's sayings, and another saying that he had is like, you are who you hang around. And like that kind of, aside from the work stuff we were just talking about, like people don't understand like the type of people you hang around. It has a big determination on like your trajectory, like, because obviously, if you hang around certain people a lot, you start to, without even knowing it, you start to like gain some of their habits, some of their ways of thinking and stuff like that. And if you hanging around some bums, man, and people who don't got no real goals in life and stuff like that, like, don't be surprised if you end up just like them. That's why I feel so bad, because there's some people I know back home, and I want to be close with them because they're good people. But they noticed that as I got a little bit older, I kind of became a little bit more distant. And I'm like, they don't understand. It's not because I'm trying to be mean, or it's not because I dislike them. It's like, no, bro. Like, I just see the way you live. I see, I see this type of stuff that you live for, and I see how low the bar is set for you. And like, I try to talk to them, get inside their head, like, hey, maybe you should, like, there's so much more to life. But they act like they listen, but they don't change anything. So once I see that no changes are being made, I'm like, hey, man, I'm not about to let you affect my trajectory of where I'm trying to go. Like, I love you. I always keep loving you. But, like, you know what I'm saying? We got to, like, kind of adjustment has to be made. I can't be around you no more, bro. But yeah, that's always a hard decision to make, but it's necessary for sure.
Yeah, man, it's the right one to make sometimes.
Yeah.
I had to do the same thing in high school. Like, I had some buddies I hung out with a lot, and then the day came where I was just like, man, I just got to get it together.
Yeah.
I want more than this.
Exactly.
And, it was no hard feelings against them. It's just I wanted my life to go a different way. And,
yeah, bro.
And that's okay.
Yeah, bro, for sure. Sometimes you got to choose yourself.
Oh,
so.
Yeah. For real. Kaden, a lot of this stuff that I've done on my own because when I was growing up, I didn't see a lot of people that could actually bring me up and uplift me,
Yeah.
And I was like, I'd rather be alone than with people who are going to drag me down.
Exactly, bro.
So I've gone through a lot of nights alone, but that's because I believed in my mission, and I believe that being alone was the best option for me to get closer to where I wanted to be,
For sure.
And now it's finally like paying off, but like those, sometimes you just got to do what you got to do and go your own way if you want more out of life.
Yeah, bro. Like, same thing for my sister too. Like, the reason why I think the way I think now when it comes to like not letting people drag me down is because I noticed that from my sister too. Like, I seen certain relationships and stuff that she had to cut short because she knew that she was trying to go to college, and she wanted, more for her life. So, like, I'm like, hey, Calista, you don't hang around this certain person anymore, or you don't do this or do that. Like, oh, it's just no hard feelings, but I gotta focus. And I'm like, okay, bet. So then I started doing the same, and like I seen how it helps me. I'm like, you know what? No wonder she was making those certain like tough decisions to stop talking to this person or this person, because it's like, bro, they're not trying to do nothing but drag you down. Like, but I always try to uplift them with me first, like see if they're willing to make changes.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm not just gonna leave them in the dirt. Like, I always like pose certain questions or try to pick their brain and stuff like that, or tell them, try to give them some advice and changes they should make. And like, if they're not with it, then it's like, okay, man, I got to do what I got to do, bro. I'm not going to stay here.
Exactly. It's important to extend the hand too. And give people the benefit of the doubt too.
Yeah, bro.
You don't
definitely.
You don't always know why that person is doing the things they're doing.
That they're doing. Exactly.
Like, there's some grace to be, to point out there.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
So let me ask you this. So if you could go all the way back to Caden freshman year of college,
Okay.
what would you want to tell him?
If I can go all the way back to Caden freshman year of college, bro, I would say I would tell him, well, for one, always keep your confidence, regardless of how you view yourself, regardless of certain insecurities you have. Always keep your confidence. And then I will also tell him, uh, yeah, man, just take it day by day because things are gonna get better. During freshman year of college, I was kind of like in a rough patch, a really rough patch. Like I was like really trying to find myself, and so I would just tell him like, hey, bro, you're gonna be all right. Take it day by day, and things are definitely gonna get better for you for sure. If you would have told me during that season of life when I was a freshman in college, if you would have told me that I would have came, moved to UF, met a whole bunch of great people, you know what I'm saying, then had a couple of jobs out here, you know what I'm saying, I would have been able to sustain myself. Like, hey, you're gonna be able to manage your money well, and I would have been like, bro, you're lying. Like, that's not gonna happen. But it definitely ended up happening. I remember when I was moving out here, I was so shocked, and I was like, dang, bro, like I really made it to the University of Florida, and like, because this is already a hard school to get in, like, for one. So it's just the fact that like little old me was able to come out here. I was like, dang, bro, I never seen this for myself. But I would definitely tell freshman Caden, like, just stay locked in, keep your confidence, take it a day at a time. Like, it gets greater later type of thing.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Absolutely. That's so important for people to hear, man.
Yeah.
It's like just have some faith.
Yeah, bro, for sure. Like, you can't cut your faith short, bro, because it's like, if you always have that increment of hope in you, there's always like progress to be made. Like, there's no more progress to be made, and you won't ever see no opportunities to make progress if like that little increment of hope like is vanished and it's gone. It's like, you know what, throw my hands up, I don't care. I'm just gonna live how I want to live, do what I want to do, type of thing.
Exactly, because that's kind of like that's giving up your potential.
Exactly, bro. Like, potential is such a strong word because it's like, obviously your potential means nothing if you don't build on it, but your potential means a whole lot if you do build on it. So it's like, bro, so many people out here have so much potential to do certain things and so many hidden talents and stuff, but they just aren't trying to build on that potential, because potential is nothing if it isn't built on. So
Absolutely.
yeah, bro.
And to add one more piece to that, I also think gratitude is really important.
You do emphasize that, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, man. Like it's important to have these big visions. Trust me, I got like big plans, and that's great and all. Sometimes sometimes people have a hard time appreciating what they already have, though. And I'm sure there's some Bible quote about it, but
Yeah.
I feel like you're more likely to receive more if you're already grateful for what you have.
Exactly, bro.
Like nobody wants to give something to someone who's ungrateful.
That's what I'm saying, bro. And that's why a lot of people, that's why isn't like there's no opportunities coming certain people's way, because most of those people where it seems like no opportunities coming their way, nobody wants to extend a helping hand, it's because you were super ungrateful, for the things that you did have. So it's like, why would God bless you with more? That don't make any sense. Like, you need to be grateful for what you have, and then that way you can show gratitude when more is given to you, and more, and that gratitude to just keep overflowing. I even remember when you brought up that word gratitude, I remember one day me and you were working, and I was complaining about something so little. I can't remember what it was. And then I just remember you in the back, like, just try to have some gratitude, Kaden. I was like, you right, bro. I was like, I'm tripping. That's my fault, Nick. It's not even that big of a deal.
Yeah, man. And that's something I say because I've made that same mistake.
Yeah.
And, I kind of have a ritual where when I walk to work, I just thank God just for what I have and to just give me the strength to kind of go through the day, have a good shift, provide a good opportunity for people. Yeah, that's just an attitude that I like to show up to the workplace with,
Yeah.
And I just think it's a good one to live with. It's
Yeah, bro.
Because at one point in your life, this is probably everything you ever wanted.
Exactly, bro.
You know?
I'm
So
saying?
it's good to keep that in mind.
Yeah, bro. So,
So,
totally agreed.
do you have any other final words you'd like to share?
Well, if I had any other final words for the podcast, bro, I would just say to anybody out there listening, bro, just keep your head up. Always have confidence in yourself. You know what I'm saying? If you have something you love or you have a passion, obviously chase it. Yeah, bro, just try to keep growing every single day. Even if you're gonna make some very stupid mistakes along the road, it's gonna get really bumpy sometimes. But you just gotta know how to, like we were talking about, like make adjustments, shake back. You know what I'm saying? Like as long as you're still breathing, there's room for improvement. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the road is when you die. So if you still breathing and you wake up every day, it's not the end of the road yet. You know, there's still some use out of you. So definitely just stay encouraged, bro, and make good decisions, hang around the right people, and like you were saying, have grace with people. Don't be too short tempered. And yeah, bro, just chase what you love what you chase, man, and yeah, you'll reach it one day, for sure.
Incredible.
Yeah, bro.
Well, Caden, thank you very much for being here.
You already know, man.
I appreciate
Yes, sir.
it.
No problem, bro.